Hello everyone, welcome again to this part. Now, as we have already done in the previous section, we are going to do Bayes theorem in this one. Okay, so let me just revisit what we have done in the previous sections. So, what we have covered is as follows. We have covered law of total probability. We have covered basics of set theory. We have covered classical probability. So these are the things that we have covered, and we would like to cover in this section what we call as Bayes theorem. So let me give the heading, and we are going to discuss about this topic throughout this whole lecture. Bayes theorem. So this theorem essentially concerns with the law of total probability, but it also provides you a way of calculating what we call inverse probabilities. Now, obviously, here the word inverse is a bit too overestimated because it doesn't basically mean that we are calculating probability of A inverse. Okay, it's not like that. It's not like in usual algebra. But when we call inverse probability, we mean conditional probabilities. So let me just write it down quickly first. Now, Bayes theorem and inverse probability. What do we mean by it? So first, let us recall law of total probability, or in short LOTP, as probability of E equals to summation I equals to 1 to capital N probability of EI into probability of E given EI. Here, union of all the EIs will give us the set E. That's what we mean by it, right? So basically EIs are the sub events, that is E1, E2 up to En, where capital N is some natural number, right? Okay, so this was law of total probability. Now, Bayes theorem states that given statement of the theorem, so here we write statement so the statement of the theorem is given a principal event E and its sub events, which are basically the EIs, we are trying to find the probability for obviously I belongs to capital N, so 1 to capital N. We can find probability of, see, in this we find basically we know that probability of E given EIs, right? So in the statement of the law of total probability, we were able to calculate probability of the event E given a certain event EI, right? But in general, we would like to find the inverse, that is what happens if we find the probability of a certain sub event EJ given that the event E has happened. So what we are saying is, given that the event capital E has occurred, what is the probability that it has occurred through the sub event EJ? So you understand what I mean. So let's say we have like an event here, so let's consider it here. We have an event capital E which can be done in two ways, E1 and E2. So in law of total probability, we find that what is the probability of this capital event E, using the fact that we know what is the probability of E when E1 has occurred, or what is the probability of E when E2 has occurred, because E can be done in two ways. But here we ask the opposite question, that what is the probability that given that capital E has already occurred, that it has occurred to a certain event. So let us say what is the probability that capital E has occurred, and it has occurred through E1, right? So that is what we are going to find. So we can find this probability as, now I'm going to state the actual formula for this. This is given as EI, right? So this is how we basically find the probability of a inverse one, right? So in general we find E upon Ej, but here we find Ej upon E, for obviously for all j belongs to capital 1 to capital N, right? 1 to capital N. So this is the statement of Bayes theorem. Now it would be very much understandable if I put this to an example, so which I'm going to do now, which shall put things in perspective, and you should know how to use them. So let us consider a similar problem from last exercise. So I shall show you this later again when needed. For the time being, you can just focus on the problem that consider two bags having red and blue balls. Now we want to find the probability that if a red ball was picked, it was from bag 1. So this is the probability that we want to find. The composition of the bags are given below. So let me write the composition for the bags here. It's basically, we would write something like bag 1, and we can write here like red, we can write here like blue, and we can write here bag 2. So red and blue are given, and for bag 2 and bag 1 we have the following composition. So 4 red balls in this, 6 blue balls in this, 6 red balls in this, and 4 blue balls in this. Okay, so the question says us that red ball was already picked at random from a certain bag. We need to find the probability that the bag from which it was picked was bag 1. So here you can see the kind of phenomenon that's going to occur, because in the last section what we did, the problem was to find the total probability of getting a red ball, right? And we saw that the red ball can be obtained from either bag 1 or bag 2, and that the bags were equally probable in their picking. But here we are asking the complete opposite question. We're already stating that a red ball was already picked, so it's given basically, and we need to find the probability that it was from bag 1. So you see how the Bayes theorem comes into application here, and for simplicity we shall first define certain events. It is always helpful to name the events, because you are going to use them in your formulas and you need to define them. So let us define the following events. So B1 would refer to bag 1 is picked, B2 would refer to bag 2 is picked, and R will refer to red ball, that is a red ball has been picked, and a B will refer to a blue ball has been picked. Okay, now since the bags are equally likely, right, since the, and we can assume this without loss of generality because it is not given how to pick the bags, right? And when something is not given, you assume the trivial. Just for example, when a coin has been tossed and it's not given the coin is a fair or an unfair one, you always assume it's a fair one, because then only you know the probabilities, right? If you assume an unfair one, you do not know in which probability they are divided. Similar in this case, since the bags are equally likely, we know that probability of B1 is equals to probability of B2 is equals to 1 by 2, right? Both of them are equal to 1 by 2. Now we also need to find the following probability that a red ball was picked given that it was from bag 1, right? What would be this? As you can see, if I can write the total again here as I have done in the previous problem as well, total, it is 10 here, 10 here. So the probability of a red ball here is 0.4 and 0.6 from bag 2, right? So probability of red, given that it's a bag 1, is basically 4 upon 4 plus 6, isn't it? Yes. So this becomes 4 by 10 and 0.4. Probability that it's a red from bag 2 would give you 6 upon 4 plus 6, which is 6 by 10, which is 0.6. Okay. Now we can use our formula. Now using Bayes theorem, we can write, remember that we need to find probability of B1 given R. So a red ball was picked and we need to find the probability it was picked from bag 1. We can write probability of B1 given that a red ball was picked as, so Bayes theorem says that we need to write it as probability of B1 into probability of R by B1 divided by, there are two events in total in which R can occur, so I equals to 1 to 2 probability of Bi into probability of R by Pi, right? This gives us the following: probability of B1 here is 1 by 2 and probability of R by B1 is basically 0.4, right, divided by 1 by 2 into 0.4 plus 1 by 2 into 0.6, and the 1 by 2 is cut off and it gives you 0.4 by 0.4 plus 0.6, which basically gives you 0.4, which is our required answer. So as you can see, this Bayes theorem application is very useful in finding probabilities of the inverse kind. Now similarly we can calculate the probability for finding the blue ball. So a different question would be to ask here, what is the probability of getting a blue ball? So let us say we want to find the probability of getting a blue ball as whole. So I'm trying to mix the concepts here so that you can distinguish between them and apply them accordingly, because it is not necessary when you are studying the chapter of Bayes theorem that you only solve problems of Bayes theorem. So right here is not the probability which we find using Bayes theorem, but it's basically the law of total probability, right? So we can write the total probability as probability of a blue ball should be equals to probability of bag 1 into probability of blue ball given bag 1 plus probability of bag 2 into probability of a blue ball given bag 2, right? And we know the probabilities of the bag is half, so it's half into probability of blue ball in bag 1. So we can go back to the table and we see it's 6 by 10, right? So this should be 6 by 10, and similarly this should be 4 by 10, and this gives us half 6 by 10 plus 4 by 10, which is 1. So it's basically half, right? So this is the method we use to find out any kind of probabilities using laws of total probability and Bayes theorem. And it's not really that hard to grasp the concept, but once you get hang of it and you understand this example completely, you would be able to solve almost any problem regarding this. So that should complete this video. So our purpose has been served for this video, and we will try to introduce the most important concept in probabilistic distributions, that is the concept of a random variable and how to work with it, what is a discrete random distribution, and slowly getting on to all the various properties of different distributions and their properties. So I'll see you in the next video. Meanwhile, do check the description and also find the Breeders Math app, which is a statistical math app for all your needs. We can have all the calculators, and the notes for this lecture is also included in there. Thank you.